What is a PPA, or a power purchase agreement? What is solar as a service? And how do leases play into all of this? I'll cover all of this in today's video. Hi, I'm Tom with Premier Roof Solar. I've been helping homeowners save money on their power bills for the last 5 years with renewable energy. My goal is to educate and empower homeowners like you so that you can make the best decision for your unique situation. What is a PPA? It stands for Power Purchase Agreement. But what does that mean exactly? Well, a power purchase agreement means an agreement to purchase power. To get more specific, it's an agreement to purchase this power at a predetermined cost, which is very unlike the standard local utility companies, who are monopolies. Your local power company is a local or regional monopoly that basically gets to dictate what they charge rather than having competition, which would keep rates lower. There are governing bodies that have to approve the rate increases, but as this implies, there are never decreases. It's just a matter of how much they're allowed to increase the rate. And in the case of investor-owned or publicly traded utilities, they have powerful lobbies that ensure greater and greater year-over-year profits, which means higher and higher bills for you even if your consumption doesn't change. With a solar power purchase agreement, you can get a locked-in rate for the life of your system that's lower than what the utility charges today. If you want to get it as low as possible, and I mean lower than the power company's Tier 1 rate for all of your usage, meaning the same lower than Tier 1 rate, even on the months where you would be deep into Tier 2 or even Tier 3, you can go with an escalator plan. Whether or not that makes sense is going to depend on how much power you use and how long you're going to be in the home, among other things. To be clear, a PPA is solar as a service. I've seen companies call it solar as a service because PPAs have a bad rap, as have leases in general. What's that? A PPA is a lease? Yes, it is. It's just a lease with a monthly charge based on what the system produces. Or in other words, the charge is based on the kilowatt hours the system produces. More on that in a minute. Leases in general have a bad name because many solar companies and solar reps go about them in a predatory way. I've heard it many times that someone got a lease and didn't even know they had a lease, or that they aren't saving much money or saving no money at all. That's why it's important to speak with a solar expert or solar professional that you trust, especially if this is the route you're considering. Traditional leases generally have a fixed monthly cost and it's based on the installation and equipment cost. Many traditional leases do not let you switch it to a purchase. With the first leases that were available on the market many years ago, they would put a lien on your property as well, which is another big reason that leases have a bad name, especially with realtors. But that's not really the case anymore. Nowadays, leases should have a UCC1 fixture filing. That puts a lien on the solar equipment, not your property. So if someone doesn't pay, the solar company has the right to come uninstall and take the equipment to cover part or all of the money that's owed. This UCC fixture filing is what makes refinancing your mortgage easier despite having a lease, and what makes it easy to transfer the lease to the new homeowner. As with most things, there are always pros and cons. Here are a few compared to owning the system. Starting with the pros, if you don't own the system, the solar company will actively monitor the system and be responsible for all maintenance and repairs. With most ownership options on the market, you'll have to monitor the system yourself, and the warranties can vary widely depending on what you get and who you go with. Case in point is the battery. When you own the system, you're generally going to get a 10-year warranty on the battery. With the lease, you'll get a 25-year warranty, and you'll get a production guarantee. This is very rarely offered when you're owning the system. The production guarantee means that if the system isn't producing what it should, then you'll get some money back from the solar company. But let's look at the downside. If you don't own the system or you're doing a lease, paying it off early won't save you any money. Adding panels or batteries after the fact can be very difficult or not possible. Not owning the system is not going to add as much value to your home as if you did own the system. And generally speaking, it does cost more money in the long run to do a lease compared to ownership. Leasing or financing the system with a loan will of course always cost you more money than paying it off cash. But most people don't have that kind of money to pay the system cash, or even if they do, there may be better ways to invest that money. So since you're already paying something monthly, you can just switch it to a lower solar monthly bill. Comparing a lease to a loan and which one's going to cost you more in the long run is going to depend on what's going on with the lending market at the current moment. But now back to how they charge for a PPA. The power you purchase can be based on the month-to-month production, meaning that it'll fluctuate each month, making it as unpredictable as the typical utility bill. Or you can go with a fixed rate that's based on the annual estimate. This makes it very predictable. Either way, the rate per kilowatt hour should be 30 to 50% less than what the power company is charging you right now. Maybe even less if you go with an escalator. So the savings with solar are very clear, even with a PPA or a lease. It's just a matter of ironing out whether you're fronting the cash, having a debt, or not having a debt and not paying any money out of pocket. It's all going to depend on you, what you want or need, and what changes you may have in the foreseeable future. All options make more sense financially than staying with the power company. If you want to learn about more ways to pay for solar that'll save you money, watch this video next.